The prairie sun hangs low in the sky, painting the fields in gold and amber. It's harvest time in Walnut Grove, a season of abundance, of shared labor, of neighbors gathering under wide-open skies. But this year, something feels different. Because this year, a stranger has come to town. His name is Johnny Johnson, a quiet gentleman with calloused hands and eyes that hold too much silence. He arrives with nothing but a worn satchel and a fiddle tucked under his arm, looking for work, for peace, for a place to rest his weary bones. Charles hires him on the spot. "We could use an extra pair of hands," he says, clapping Johnny on the shoulder. But Johnny isn't like other hired hands. He doesn't boast. He doesn't gossip. He works from dawn till dusk without complaint, then sits by the fire at night and plays the most hauntingly beautiful music anyone in Walnut Grove has ever heard. Laura is captivated. She watches him from the porch, listening as his fiddle weeps and sings. Songs of rivers, of lost love, of roads that never end. "Why does his music sound so sad, Ma?" she asks. Caroline watches him too, but with a mother's intuition. "Some people carry their whole life in their silence, Laura," she says softly, "and their music is the only way they can speak." Then, one evening, the truth comes out. Johnny collapses in the field, not from exhaustion, but from pain. When Dr. Baker examines him, his face grows grave. "It's consumption," he tells Charles quietly. "He doesn't have long, consumption." The word hangs in the air like a death sentence. In 1870s America, it meant tuberculosis, a slow, wasting illness with no cure. People didn't just fear it. They feared the person who had it, and just like that, the town's kindness turns to suspicion. Neighbors stop greeting Johnny. Children are pulled away when he walks by. Even the church ladies whisper behind their hands, "He shouldn't be here." He'll spread it to the children. Only the Ingalls family stands firm. Charles insists Johnny stay in their home. Caroline nurses him with broth and cool cloths. Mary reads to him from the Bible. And Laura? She sits by his bedside and asks him to play his fiddle. Not because she's unafraid, but because she knows his music is his heart speaking. But Johnny sees the fear in others' eyes. He sees the way shopkeepers flinch when he enters. He hears the rumors. And one night he tries to leave, to spare them the burden, the risk, the shame. Charles catches him at the edge of the property. "Where do you think you're going?" Charles asks, voice firm but kind. Johnny won't look at him. "I don't belong here, Charles. I'm dangerous. You belong here more than most," Charles says. "And you're not dangerous. You're sick. There's a difference." It's a radical idea for the time. That illness isn't moral failure. That a person isn't defined by their disease. But Charles lives it. Not with grand speeches, but with daily acts of courage. Sharing a meal, shaking his hand, letting him sleep under the same roof as his daughters. As Johnny grows weaker, his music grows softer, but no less powerful. One afternoon, he plays a new tune, one he's never played before. It's tender, hopeful, full of grace. "What's that one called?" Laura asks. Johnny smiles faintly. "The Love of Johnny Johnson." And in that moment we understand. This isn't just a song. It's his goodbye, his thank you, his love letter to the people who saw him, not as a sick man, but as a man who mattered. When Johnny passes a few days later, the whole town expects the Ingalls to bury him quietly, far from the cemetery. But Charles does something extraordinary. He asks the minister to give Johnny a proper burial in the town cemetery, beside respected citizens, with a headstone that reads his name and nothing more. No warning, no shame, just Johnny Johnson. 1848, 1873. And then, in the final scene that still brings tears decades later, Laura walks to his grave alone. She places a single wildflower on the fresh earth and hums the melody of "The Love of Johnny Johnson" into the wind. Now, this episode was groundbreaking, not just for its emotional depth, but for its quiet activism. In 1974, when fear of illness, especially contagious disease, still carried stigma, from TB to later HIV, Little House dared to say, "Compassion is stronger than fear." Michael Landon, who wrote and directed this episode, based it on real pioneer accounts. Families did take in strangers with consumption. Communities did ostracize the sick. And sometimes, one act of courage, like Charles Ingalls refusing to look away, changed everything. The actor who played Johnny, Randy Quaid, was only 23 years old, but he brought a haunting vulnerability to the role that made Johnny feel achingly real. You believed his pain, you felt his gratitude, and you understood why Laura would never forget him, because the love of Johnny Johnson isn't really about death. It's about how we treat people when they're at their most fragile. It's about choosing love over fear, even when it's hard, even when it's risky, even when no one else will. And that lesson, it's just as urgent today as it was in 1873, or 1974, or right now, in our own world. So if this story moved you, if you've ever been the one who needed kindness, or the one who had to choose whether to give it, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Who showed you love when you felt unworthy of it? If you enjoyed this full 49-minute storytelling of the love of Johnny Johnson, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to SG Top Celebrities, and hit the bell so you never miss another chapter from Walnut Grove. Thank you for sitting with Johnny's story. As Ma would say, the measure of a community isn't how it treats the strong, but how it holds the broken. Until next time, keep your heart open even when it's hard.